with the way this season has started for the Buffalo Sabres and what has happened over the last 15 years, I think that it was only right that I started the podcast off this way. I just need to talk. This is going to be kind of all over the place, but I just need to talk. Uh, what I've seen to start this year, the mismanagement, the just like brain numbing decisions that this franchise makes on a daily basis that just make you can't even believe that this is a professional hockey team. Like this is a professional sports team. That this franchise every single day there's a new one, and it's really tough to continue to be a fan of this team, which I've been my entire life. My dad has been his entire life, and you just watch this ownership group run this team into the ground, and I just can't deal with it. So, I fell for it again. I fell for it again. Going into this year, I was excited. I thought I like Kesselring. I really like Josh Doan. He's actually been one of the few bright spots for the team this year. And I thought, okay, Clifton's not here. Yoki Haryu's gone. Lafferty's gone. Three of the worst hockey players I've ever seen play hockey are off the team. That's good. Our decor looks really good. Josh Norris had a really good preseason. I was I was excited. And then I go to the first game and we come out in that first period. Well, and we barely play hockey. Like we barely show up in that first period. This is a must make the playoffs year. Everyone should be fighting for their jobs here. Kevin Adams still has a job somehow after he's the worst GM in the NHL, but Terry doesn't like paying people that aren't working. So he won't fire anyone unless it gets really bad. Remember, it took an 18 game losing streak for Ralph Kruger to lose his job, who he wasn't actually a hockey coach, he was a soccer coach. But they just come out completely flat in that first period. Peyton Krebs is on the first line because Zach Benson got hit with a puck and their training staff can't do stitches properly, so he ends up going to the hospital. And the pictures that just came out of him looks like he's been through a war. You have Kesselring's already hurt, and he's week to week. We have no idea when he's coming back. Samuelson is hurt again. He was hurt all throughout training camp. Another setback. Greenway's dead. Don't know what's happening with him. UPL's hurt. Uh, and then to top it all off, we knew for this year to go well, we needed Josh Norris to stay healthy. And then he gets hurt in that third period. After we came out and played a decent second period and a decent third period, Shesterkin was really good. And then the last 5 minutes, we just give up and forget how to play. So we end up losing 4-0. But then on a draw, you hear a collective groan from that building, and it's Josh Norris going down. I was in the building for this game, and you can ask who I was with. I audibly yelled, "Oh, Josh Norris is dead." That's just the way this game was stopped off. Was Josh Norris going down? Then we find out the next day that Josh Norris is out for a significant amount of time, and we see the play, and he gets chopped on his hand. I don't know if he broke his hand, what happened. It's just an upper body injury. That's scary when he's had shoulder issues his entire career. But this training staff has to be taken into question. Year after year, there's players that just can't stay healthy ever. And it's setback after setback after setback. We look at Jack Quinn, who comes in, and players are going to get hurt. That's just part of hockey. He tears his Achilles, I think. We didn't really fully find that out. He gets back, he plays for about 5 games and just destroys his Achilles again. It's not normal for players to just consistently have setbacks every single time a player gets hurt. Samuelson has a setback every single time he's out. Greenway is the same way. And these are guys that we trust to be big parts of this team that are eating up big parts of your cap. And then you see the Kevin Adams video from Sabres Embedded where he's talking about how, oh, I just got full sign off from my training staff. We feel great about Josh Norris. He played 4 games for the team. He's played the entire game in 2 of them. He's left injured in 2 of the 4 games he's played for this franchise since we traded Dylan Cousins for him. It's a mess. It's ridiculous. And to come out this year and we're icing Josh Dunn and Mason Gearstan. Mason Gearstan can't skate. He can't skate. Matt Rempe is not willing to fight him because he's that bad a player. He's getting laughed at by Nikita Zadorov, getting told to go back to the bench. Why is he playing? Why Justin Danforth is getting second power play minutes against the Colorado Avalanche? When we have Consta Helenius, Isaac Rosen, and Noah Ostlund just sitting in Rochester, Isaac Rosen is one of the best players in the AHL, and we won't give him a shot. What is happening? What is happening? It's ridiculous. We still have a irrelevant power play, like that just can't do anything. We're the only team in the NHL that just can't score on the power play with a top 5 defenseman in the NHL, one of the best puck movers in the NHL running it in Rasmus Dahlin. We have the guy with the hardest shot in the NHL and the best one-timer in the NHL in Tage Thompson. And we just can't figure out how to score goals. There's the clip that came out when Bowen Byram first came to the team where he's moving around on the power play and then just he doesn't know what's happening because we have no movement on our power play and he's just like dumbfounded by looking around at this joke of a power play. It's just ridiculous on a day-to-day basis. And then we find out and then after that Rangers game, you come out against the Rangers. Okay, Shesterkin goalied you a little bit. You didn't play that bad. You won the deserve to win a meter because that's, we all know that's what really matters. And then you come out against Boston and you get outshot 17-1 in the first period. 17-1. You don't even show up. It's you don't even know what to say. You come a you get after you get booed out of your own building in the first game of the year. The first game of the year. You come out and give an effort that Lindy Ruff called the worst effort he's ever seen in his career. Lindy Ruff has spent decades in the NHL as a player and as a coach, and you provide the worst effort he's ever seen. He's already publicly calling you out in the second game of the year. The second game of the year. This franchise. Then the third game of the year, after you lose 3-1, we finally got a goal in the third period of that Boston game. Jason Zucker has one bounce off him and in the net. Or off a Bruins player and in the net. And that third game against Colorado, you go, okay, we actually have to play here. Like, we need to come out hot here. And you know what? They kind of did. They played pretty well in that first and second period. They did play pretty well, although they had good possession and they had good shot numbers, but the high danger chances were non-existent. Just perimeter muffins at the Henry Jokiharju special from the perimeter. Just nothing with any chance of going in the net. Tage gets lucky and throws one in from the point, but it's just a complete luck goal. So it's 1-1. And then the second period's the same deal, but you give up a goal to end the period. And then that third period, you just come out and you just don't even play the game. You just straight don't play the game. You don't play the game in that third period. You get dominated, and we're having fire Adams chance, which I was a part of to end that third period. And you get booed off the building on home ice again. Again. And then the treat of we find out, first of all, we find out that Josh Norris is out for 2 months before that game. And we also find out that Samuelsson got hurt again. Timmins gets hurt in that game. Uh, you just get outclassed by that Colorado top line, and we have jerseys being thrown on the ice in the second game of the year, and you have Noah Osland liking posts about it, and I don't blame him. Why is he not playing for the team? Why? We're not a serious franchise. We're icing Mason Gerstad. Sorry, I'm not even saying his name right because he's so terrible. He can't skate. He can't skate. Why is Josh Dunn on the team? Why is Danforth playing on your third line? We have Hellenius, who's an incredible two-way center. We have Isak Rosen, who's a good two-way player as well, and one of the best players in the AHL, who played really well with Yuri Kulik when he was in Rochester. But no, we can't call him up. He's 23. Give him a shot. Something has to change. And then we find out today, I'm recording this on the Tuesday after the Colorado game. We're playing Ottawa tomorrow. We find out they're health bombing Yuri Kulik. Lindy, why are we health bombing Yuri Kulik? Yes, he hasn't looked incredible. He was our first line center to start the game yesterday. And we're health bombing him the next day. Like, I don't think he's the issue. I think our bottom six, consisting of Peyton Krebs, Justin Danforth, Beck Malenstein, Josh Dunn, Mason Gearstan, and Jack Quinn, who, by the way, is way worse than Yuri Kulik. I, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then he was talking about what we thought about Lindy talking about what we thought about calling them up, but I think that moment's passed with Greenway. What? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Lindy? Like, I love Lindy. He's done so much for this franchise over the years, but he's a senile old man at this point. Like, Pete DeBoer doesn't have a job. Mike Pekka's an assistant coach who, by the way, can run a power play, so it might be a decent idea for us to look at him. How does Seth Appert have a job when he's running our power play and running the worst power play in the NHL with the talent that we have? We're it's just the small things that add up over and over and over again. Every single day, we see something from this franchise that good teams don't do. Like Jacob Bernard Docker gets non-tendered. You may think, oh, he's a seventh defenseman. Well, when we have five defensemen get hurt and we're out here icing Jacob Bryson again, maybe JBD isn't the worst option. Like I don't even, or how we handled the JJ Paterka trade. I love Josh Doan and I like Kesselring. But we pigeonholed ourselves to not be able to get a better return because everyone in the NHL knew we were only trading him for a right-handed shot defenseman. That was the only thing we were trading for him. No picks, no prospects, only right shot defenseman. Then the Bowen Byram we trade. We don't trade him. But St. Louis apparently was offering, well, Kyrou was in talks. I don't know if Kyrou was offered for Byram, but I know Kyrou is getting shopped. Bolduc clearly was offered. He got traded for Logan Mailloux, and I don't love Bowen Byram, but he's better than Logan Mailloux. You're telling me Zach Bolduc couldn't help this forward core? This team that can't score, that's has the worst expected goals percent, the worst XG in the league, that scored 2 goals through 3 games. You're telling me Zach Bolduc, one of the most efficient scorers in the NHL, couldn't help this team? Like, what? What is happening? What is happening? Kevin Adams repeatedly just absolutely bungles trades. Like, was the Sam Reinhart trade that bad looking back? Not really. I mean, Yuri Kulik I like a lot. Devin Levi, the jury is kind of still out on what he's going to be. So I don't hate that trade. The Ristolainen trade's not bad. We obviously got Isak Rosen out of that, although are we going to give him a shot in the NHL? And then you look at the Sam Reinhart trade. Sorry, not the Sam Reinhart trade, the Jack Eichel trade. And it's Tuck and Krebs and a first round pick that turned into Noah Osland. Now, here's the issue Peyton Krebs kind of sucks, unfortunately, now for Peyton Krebs. Alex Tuck is a expiring free agent, and Noah Osland, we won't give a shot in the NHL. And Jack Eichel's a top five-ish player in the league. We can't let Kevin Adams near this team. And then he trades Dylan Cousins, which I was in full support of getting rid of Dylan Cousins. He forgot how to play hockey with this team. Ever since he broke Garnett Hathaway broke his jaw, he just kind of has forgotten how to play hockey. And then you trade him for a guy who can't stay healthy ever and is one of the most volatile players in the NHL at $8 million a year for 5 more years. And you have to throw in a second round pick. And you get Dylan and you get Jacob Bernard Docker and Josh Norris back. And then you don't offer JBD a contract. You don't and he signs for league min. He signs for below league min with Detroit. L- Little things like I used to love how this team would do individual player goal songs. Love it. Every time I hear gimme, 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 I automatically think of Victor Olofsson scoring OT winners, especially that one against Minnesota he scored in 22-23. Every time I hear Fish in the Dark, I only think of Tage Thompson. Only think of Tage Thompson. Every time I hear Heads Will Roll, I only think of Alex Tuck. There's a reason I know all the words to Breaking Free, and it's because of Jeff Skinner. Then we take that away when Lindy gets here because I don't know where we have to be more of a team or some garbage like that. And you choose Kickstart Your Heart as the goal song, whatever. Then this year you have some scam vote. You choose the same goal song after having a terrible year. No one, like everyone thinks you actually rigged a goal song vote. That's what people think of this franchise and the faith that the fans have in this front office and ownership group. They think you rigged a goal song vote. Rigged a goal song vote. Like, just think of how good every time we touch would have been. Like, you go up 5-1 and you're just blasting every time we touch. Like, it would have been incredible. But no, it's Kickstart Your Heart again. We actually got to hear it on Monday with the one goal we scored finally. And you announce it before the game on Thursday, just leaving yourself up to just get dunked on when we don't score a goal. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? The Jeff Skinner buyout. We buy out Jeff Skinner and do nothing with the cap space just to. Jeff Skinner died so we could get a new scoreboard. Jeff Skinner died so we could get a new scoreboard. We're not a serious franchise. I don't want to just do a full drought iceberg video. I'll let Sabre Report take that. But it's just ridiculous what is happening here. The arena is falling apart. Water is spewing from the ceiling at the arena. I was at the game on Monday, I was looking at the ceiling. There's watermarks everywhere on the ceiling. The seats are breaking when people sit in them. The facing is falling off. We still have Navy signage everywhere because we've been royal blue for 5 years. We can't even, when you introduce a new food item, we can't even have it ready for people to buy. I wanted a big Parm Thompson. You think I wasn't going to buy a 2-foot chicken parm sandwich? But there was none anywhere to be found. It's just ridiculous. And the NHL needs to step in here and tell Terry, like, you have to start spending money on this team. I know you spent money on Ville Leno, and then when he didn't work out because he's Ville Leno, you decided we can't ever spend money on the team again. And that's also by cutting our scouting department and our analytics department and every other department. And you fired Tim Murray or Jason Botterill, one of the two. Sorry that we've had so many GMs. when they wouldn't fire people during COVID, you fired him because of that. Like, and then we see you just giving your money to Penn State. You're the biggest donor for Penn State hockey, and I love. You can give all the money to Penn State you want, but spend some money on the Sabres. Spend some money on the Sabres. This fan base loves hockey. We saw in 22-23, the barn was packed all the time. It bought you a couple years of grace because of how good that team was. And then you've just drained the love for the sport out of the fans of Buffalo that love hockey. They love hockey. And now everyone just thinks it's a terrible city and fan base because I can buy a ticket for $15 US to get in the building. And it just gets like we can't be getting like Colorado fans out drawing us on Monday. We can't have that happen. Like Ottawa tomorrow night, I'm going to be at the game again because I'm an insane person and I'm going to go the first 4 games of this year. There's going to be more Ottawa fans than Buffalo fans tomorrow night. And there's going to be Let's Go Sens chants. There's going to be no Let's Go Buffalo chants. There's going to be Fire Adams chants and Sell the Team chants. You're losing fans that you're not even losing the casual fans now. You're losing fans that have been with this team through this drought. This is the worst I've felt about the team. Maybe the entire drought. Because this team shouldn't be bad. You have a perennial 45 goal scorer and a top 5 defenseman in the NHL on this team. You have a really good decor, like a really good decor. You have Alex Tuck. You have Yuri Kulik. You have Zach Benson. Oh, God, Zach Benson. Please don't do what Jack Quinn and Dylan Cousins did. Please don't. Also, we've got to talk about the issue. Clearly, there's a player development issue. The fact that in 22-23, since then, every single player except Darlene and Tage have regressed. Every single one. Other than Peterka, sorry. Peterka got better. Quinn forgot how to play. Quinn doesn't even look like he's played hockey in his life before. I actually am scared when he touches the puck. Dylan Cousins forgot how to play. What has happened? What has happened to this team? And I know we're really early in the season, and trust me, I'm one of the most positive Sabres fans you'll find. I don't want to give up on the season yet. But there's a problem here. And it's just been compounding year after year, day after day, stupid decision after stupid decision. And you're sitting out here with Kevin Adams as your GM, Lindy Ruff as your head coach. Bruce Boudreau literally said he wanted to coach the team. Bruce Boudreau. Now, he's not much younger than Lindy. But, like, what are we doing? You got the cheap pop from rehiring Lindy. It doesn't even sound like you actually did a coaching search for this job. I can't. Like, I love this team so much. I love this team. But we can't keep doing this. We can't keep doing this. Like, Terry, I know you love this team. I know you do. Please spend some money on the team. Please. Please. If you spend money on this team, people will come to the games. The season ticket holders will come back. We just need to see some life. And the thing is, it's probably worse behind closed doors, and we don't even know it. I guarantee it is. Rasmus Dahlin seems like he's on the brink of snapping. I really actually hope he does in an interview soon because I think ownership needs that kind of pressure put on them. We keep hearing the NHL isn't pleased with how the drought, but until someone sells the team, I don't know what's going to change. Uh, We need just the lack of, we don't even have systems on the power play from what it sounds like that Tage and Darlene were talking about. Uh, you have one of the most devoted fan bases. I hate when people always bring this up, but we sold out a rookie scrimmage for Jack Eichel. We sold out a rookie scrimmage for Jack Eichel in 2015. You can't tell me this fan base isn't one of the best in the NHL. And you're out here. He's run this team to the ground. It's the worst run professional sports franchise in the world. In the world. We're not to bring up the drought iceberg moments again. We're giving we're misspelling players' names on their jerseys. Tyson Kozak has the 8 upside down on his jersey for his debut in the NHL. We have we're spelling we're giving Danny Gare a fake jersey. I I I don't even know what to do at this point. Um like I want to bring up the analytics and the model projections that all said the Sabres like were better than people thought they were going to be, and I fell for all of them because I'm just a big analytics guy. But this team, something I, I don't know at this point, but this team we need something to change. Something has to change. I don't know how bad it's going to be for someone to lose their job. I don't know. At this point, I'm scared we're going to be last in the NHL. And God, I'd love Gavin McKenna or Keaton Verhoff or Ryan Robrick to be on this team next year. But uh, like we're having it took one game. It took one game for Jeff Merrick and Elliot Friedman to report that Alex Tuck, Tage Thompson, and Rasmus Dahlin trade rumors. The three of them already. Already there's trade buzz. It's been 2 games. Sorry, it's been 3 games. And Jeff Merrick is basically anointing Alex Tuck as an Edmonton Oiler already. You want to know the worst part of this? Um, so I live in Hamilton here, so it's all Leafs fans around me. They don't even hate the Sabres anymore. They feel bad for them. Our biggest rivals don't even dislike us anymore. It's a one-sided rivalry. They just feel bad for us. They're rooting for us. The rest of the teams in the fans of the NHL, even like Ottawa fans, Montreal fans, fans we should hate, where we hate their franchise. They feel bad for us. They're rooting for us to do well. That's how low it's gotten for this franchise. We're looking at Norris buyout calculations. We're wearing paper bags to games already. Already. 3 games in the year, there's fire Adam chance. The GM is so hated that you won't even announce him on opening night because you know he's going to get booed. You have Zach Benson going to the hospital because he got a puck to the face because our training staff wasn't good enough to deal with it. And then to top it all off, the guys that they let go like get close to the team, uh I'm not going to name names. They're doing stuff like not letting child reporters ask a question because they have to ask Rasmus Ristolainen about the plus minus he had in the game. or they'll blame the entire drought on Sam Reinhart. Clear locker room cancer, Sam Reinhart. Clearly, yeah, not good defensively, Sam Reinhart. Not top five in the Selke voting last year, Sam Reinhart. Oh yeah, Jack Eichel can't play defense either. That's run him out of town. So there's a lot of great guys in the Sabres media. I don't want to completely like Chad is awesome. There's a lot of great ones, but the two big ones that are associated with this team the most and connected with WGR, um, I'm gonna get blocked on Twitter quickly. Those guys might be the biggest goons on the internet. Sorry, I'm gonna. So we have to deal with them too, which is great on a day to just to make us feel worse about our franchise. We're the laughing stock of the NHL here, the laughing stock of the NHL, and we have been for a decade, for at least 5 years at this point. At least 5 years at this point. Thank God for the Jets being the dumpster fire that they are, for us not having the record for the longest playoff drought. Ours doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon. God, I wish it would because I love this team so much. But I almost think it's more likely that Tage Thompson gets traded this year than we make the playoffs. And I don't know how I would deal with that. So this is not going to be every episode of this podcast. Um, I'm hoping to do some more analytics breakdowns and talk about some other teams other than the Sabres. But I just needed to sit and talk to you guys. And I needed to just vent because I love this team and the ownership group has made this team miss the playoffs during the drought more times than they missed it the rest of the franchise's existence. They've existed since 1970. And between 1970 and 2011, they didn't miss the playoffs 14 times. So we have more do not qualifies for the playoffs in this drought than the rest of the franchise's history. People forget before the drought, this was like a really good franchise. Like really good. Like with legends. Alexander McGillney, Gilbert Perreault, Danny Gare, Dominic Hasek, Danny Briere, Thomas Vanek, Jason Pominville, Chris Drury, Mike Pekka, Ryan Miller. And you do this to it, and it's in the current state that it's in, where you have the Chicklets guys saying they think there's a conspiracy to get McKenna to Buffalo, and that if that happened, that he would uh, go back to school. So I uh, I love this team, man, and I'd do anything for them to make the playoffs. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. But I'll be here breaking it all down. Um, so that's going to wrap it up for episode 1 of Hockey Night in the Hammer. Uh, there'll be some more in-depth content around some other teams other than the Sabres soon. But I just needed this. And I think all of all of the Sabres fan base is just losing their mind right now, and it's for a good reason. The guy that was snapping as he was walking back to his car after the first game in the Lindy Ruff jersey, that's how all of us were feeling. That's what that entire building was feeling. So this has been Hockey Night in the Hammer, and thanks for watching, guys.